Welcome back to another ASMR video, and in this one I am going to be doing something a bit different, and that is obviously soft spoken. So I've never really attempted this. I've always done whispering, but I figure, what the hell, I'll give it a shot. I have had it requested a couple times. I'm already noticing that it takes a lot more effort than whispering. You have to really focus on the tone of your voice and the decibel level. But I do feel like it encourages me to talk slower as I talk very slow. I don't know, it just seems like if I try to talk fast, I automatically want to go into whispering, which is different than soft spoken. But anyway, this is the first video, like I said, so bear with me. I'm going to need to get used to the gain, volume, how close I need to be to the mic. I'm a little bit further away, kind of medium length, or really up close like this. So recommendations and constructive criticism is welcome. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to just leave it as is in terms of which ear you hear it from. I am contemplating on doing editing this video. I'm speaking into the Rode mic, but I'm thinking about editing it so sometimes it's in the left ear and the right ear. It's just, again, I've never done that, so I would need to practice, which again, it's good to practice and with editing. But I don't think I would want it 100% in one ear, because it wouldn't be super realistic that way. I'm thinking if I had a double Rode mic set up, you would hear 85-15, if that makes sense. So I wasn't quite sure what to do with this video, so I'm going to be doing a little bit of reading. I have this Zen garden thing that I've had for years. I do have a couple videos of it, I think. And in fact, I might make another one in the near future, now that I have improved audio setup. But inside of it came with, is that English? Inside of it came with this little book called Zen Garden Book of Meditations. And I'm just going to be reading some passages. I don't know if that's the right word from it, but not quite sure how long the video will be, but I'm just gonna wing it. So there will be obviously page turning sounds and stuff like that. Actually, this is a very good tapping sound. I think I found a trigger that I might do as well. I either will do this for next week or sometime later this week, which it's already Saturday morning, so if it's going to be this week, it should be tomorrow. Let's see. The Zen Garden. So for the introduction of the Book of Meditations, Zen, the Sanskrit word for meditation, is a discipline. The purpose is to clear the mind of the chaos of everyday life in order to achieve a greater state of harmony. Zen-inspired gardens took root in Japan, where Zen Buddhism has heavily influenced Japanese culture for centuries. In Japan, the physical makeup of the country, mountains, and sea is reflected in garden design. Through the use of rocks and plants, The gardens are symbolic, scaled-down representations of nature. In a garden, a meditative mental plane is reached by viewing this physical plane. A Zen garden is for contemplations, for finding truth, and personal enlightenment. It transcends space and time. The purpose of cultivating a Zen rock garden is to learn to open your mind and to see more than what is before you. This kit includes a base, sand, rocks, and wooden rake, and a wooden rake. These elements, when combined, allow the Zen gardener to experience what Zen masters have practiced for centuries. You can experience Zen gardening on a personal level whenever you choose. So, how this is structured is, on the left side it has what I'm assuming is a Japanese word, and the English word underneath, and then a little message about it. So, I do have to take like a moment to kind of move away from the mic and breathe, because I don't want to be like breathing too heavily into the mic. Because again, for some reason, soft-spoken, I think it's because you're focusing on your breath and again the tone, so you have to, I don't know, for some reason it makes you a little bit out of breath. At least to the extent where you don't want to be breathing into the mic. So the first one is Zen. The rocks resemble mountains and the sand water. As you rake the sand around the rocks, you can choose patterns and designs reflecting swirling pools or swift streams. It is the patterns evolving, it is the patterns evolving from the contemplative mind that provide the most serene landscapes. Experiment, meditate, and enjoy. As is true with Zen gardens, contemplations of the thoughts and ideas expressed within the booklet are designed to assist the reader in gaining a more peaceful perspective of life. Contemplate your personal living designs in the Zen garden and absorb the Zen wisdom to harmonize the tensions in your hectic world. Next up, Buddha. Meditative reflections. When someone inquires about Zen, begin by explaining that there is really no doctrine at all. Everything is based on the mind, is led by the mind, and is fashioned by the mind. If you speak and act with a polluted mind, suffering will follow, as the wheels of the ox cart follow the footsteps of the ox. If you speak and act with a pure mind, happiness will follow you, as a shadow clings to a form. Before a person studies Zen, mountains are mountains and waters are waters. After a first glimpse into the truth of Zen, mountains are no longer mountains and waters are not waters. After enlightenment, mountains are once again mountains and waters once again waters. Next up, contemplation. Sometimes I go about in pity for myself, and all the while a great wind is bearing me across the sky. And underneath it says 4 great elements. Next one is karma. When you are deluded and full of doubt, even 1,000 books of scripture are not enough. When you have a realized understanding, even 1 word is too much. We have Zen once again. If you seek, how is that different from pursuing sound and form? If you don't seek, how are you different from earth, wood, or stone. You must seek without seeking. In walking, just walk. In sitting, just sit. Above all, don't wobble. Patience. When the day gets long and contentious, I hold fast to my breath as a tiller and take each wave as it comes. And underneath it says wisdom. Charity. Zen has nothing to grab onto. When people who study Zen don't see it, that is because they approach too eagerly. Do not seek to follow in the footsteps of the men of old. Seek what they sought. Zen is your everyday thought. Enlightenment, with karma underneath. If my heart can become pure and simple like that of a child, I think there probably can be no greater happiness than this. I agree with that sentiment. Contemplation, with the 4 great elements above it. When moved to complain about others, remember that karma is endless and it's loving that leads to love. Every day is a good day. Nirvana, and not the Kurt Cobain band. We shape clay into a pot, but it is the emptiness inside that holds whatever we want. Ooh, I like that. Wisdom. The way is not a matter of knowing or not knowing. One word to a wise man, one lash to a bright horse. And this has Buddha underneath. Karma once again with charity. How can the drops of water know themselves to be a river? The bird of paradise alights only on the hand that does not grasp. Zen. Have the heart of a small child. Whenever I feel nothing matters, I look at sleeping children and recall my original purpose. When things are in total disarray, play with joyful children. Nirvana. The eye that sees cannot see itself. He who conquers himself is mighty. The quieter you become, the more you are able to hear. Enlightenment with karma. To forget oneself is to be enlightened. Wisdom. To find your way, you must close your eyes and walk in the dark. Knowing others is wisdom. Knowing yourself is enlightenment. Charity with Zen. The foolish reject what they see. The wise reject what they think. The man who knows he is a fool is not such a great fool. A step backward gives you the advantage. Contemplation. The way is an empty vessel that is never filled. The way is not difficult to discern. Seek it within. Wisdom and karma. The great path has no gates. Thousands of roads enter it. Patience. When I awake in the morning, I listen to those I love, especially things they don't say. When people show anger and malice, Listen for truth in the message, ignoring the way it was said. That's actually, let me read that again. When people show anger and malice, listen for truth in the message, ignoring the way it was said. That's very good and very hard for a lot of people, including myself, to do. Someone could be saying something that you take so personally because, you hear the tone in their voice, when you should be listening to what they're saying and figuring out why they're so angry or upset, which is a trait that most people don't have, which is the whole point of meditation and Zen and all that good stuff. Buddha. When wayward thoughts are persistent, imagine that even Buddha has silly ideas sometimes. When anger threatens reason, wait while the storm runs its course before venturing forth. Four great elements and Zen at the top. On the shore of the ocean at sunrise, be in awe of this enormous power that rises and falls in great peace. Enlightenment. Teachers open the door, but you must enter by yourself. Nirvana. The raindrops patter on the basho leaf, but these are not tears of grief. This is only the anguish of him who is listening to them. Sitting quietly, doing nothing, spring comes and the grass grows by itself. A heavy snowfall disappears into the sea. What silence! Knock on the sky and listen to the sound. Contemplation. A monk asked Yushan, I may be butchering that name, or is that Yushan? Is that a title? I'm not sure. Yueh-Shen. What does one think of while sitting? One thinks of not thinking. The master replied. How does one think of not thinking? The monk asked. Without thinking, the master said. Karma. A painting of rice cakes does not satisfy hunger. Everything the same, everything distinct. When the many are reduced to one, to what is the one reduced? With charity underneath. And we have just a couple more. Wisdom. As the roof was leaking, a Zen master told 2 monks to bring something to catch the water. One brought a tub, the other a basket. The first was severely reprimanded, the second highly praised. Zen and enlightenment at the top. Say one word with your mouth shut. What is the sound of one hand clapping? When left with nothing to say, rest content in the knowledge that there is really nothing to say. Charity. The Zen master said, "Who binds you?" The seeker of liberty said, "No one binds me." The Zen master said, "Then why seek liberation?" And the last page. So we have, I guess, some descriptions of these words we've been seeing. So it says Zen on the first page, and over here, Buddha means the enlightened one or the awakened one. Chan, also called Zen, seek contemplation. Charity or almsgiving. This page is hard to see. The first paramita. There are 3 kinds of charity in terms of goods, doctrines, and courage. doctrines meaning dharma, courage, fearlessness. Out of the three, the merits and... Oh, this page is like really hard to see. The merits and virtues of doctrines, charity is the most surpassing. Charity done for no reward here and hereafter is called pure or unsullied, while the sullied charity is done for the purpose of personal benefits. In Buddhism, the merits and virtues of pure charity are the best. Contemplation. Abstract contemplation. There are 4 levels through which the mind frees itself from all subjects and objective hindrances and reaches a state of absolute indifference and annihilation of thought, perception, and will. Enlightenment. Enlightenment sometimes refers to the attainment of Buddhahood, as the enlightened one means Buddha. If one is enlightened, one has a complete and perfect understanding of the real character of everything. Oh, and at the top it says Zen terminology, so. And for the final page. 4 great elements. All matters are formed and are composed by 4 conditioned causes. 1, earth, which is characterized by solidity and durability. Solidity and durability, there we go. 2, water, which is characterized by liquid, fluid, and moisture. 3, fire, which is characterized by energy and warmth. And 4, wind, which is characterized by gas, air, movement. Karma. Sanskrit word meaning action, deed, moral duty, effect. Karma is moral action, which causes future retribution in either good or evil transmigration. It is also a moral kernel in each being which survives death for future rebirth. Nirvana. Completely liberated from existence, absolute extinction or annihilation, complete extinction of individual existence. Nirvana is not death, but is rebirth. Patience. Endurance, the 3rd paramita. There are groups of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, and 14. It's very random. Indicating various forms of patience. Equanimity, repression, forbearance, both in mundane and spiritual things. Patience refers to bearing insult and distress without resentment. And finally, wisdom. Wisdom, the highest of paramita. The virtue of wisdom as the principal means of attaining nirvana. It connotes, I'm butchering a lot of these words, I promise I went to school. It connotes a knowledge of the illusory character of everything earthly and destroys error, ignorance, prejudice, and heresy. Heresy? Heresy. Whatever that word is. So, that is it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, again, constructive criticism and recommendations are welcome. And until next time, be on the lookout for the tapping, because I love the way that sounds. And thank you for the support. I'll see you in the next episode.